There's really just one rule when it comes to sunscreen. So come on back and I'll tell you what it is. Okay, so that one very important rule, you have to wear it. You have to wear it every single day. No exceptions. And we'll talk about that a little bit farther down. But first, I'd like to tell you the two things that I attribute, honestly, my good skin to. Number one is something I have nothing to do with, and that is my genetics. My father has good skin, my mother has good skin, my family has good skin, good bone structure. Thanks, Mom and Dad. So, can't do much about that. I was just given that gift. But the other thing that I attribute my good skin to at 58 is that I have been wearing sunscreen since I was 22 years old on my face. And I'm going to tell you a funny story about how that started. And it's really ridiculous. But what happened was, when I was 23, I moved to New Mexico from Kansas. Kansas is pretty much down around sea level. Where I moved to New Mexico was a mile high. So a mile high, you're that much closer to the sun. So, and then I was also on birth control pills, which, as most women know, it kind of messes with your hormones. And, you know, most of us know that who've been on the pill at any time in our life. So, had lived in New Mexico not long, maybe a month or so, enjoying the beautiful, wonderful sunshine. Probably was not wearing sunscreen. And I happened to go into a department store with my grandmother. And even back then, loved makeup. So I made a beeline straight to the cosmetics counter. And while I was there, and I don't know why I never noticed this before, perhaps it was the good lighting there in the store, I was looking very closely in this mirror, and I had dark splotches on my upper lip. Dark splotches, just like that. I went, what the heck is that? So, of course, back then, we didn't have the internet to go, what is that on my lip? I don't know. So, I don't even know how I found out. I think I might have asked a doctor, and they said, honey, that is called melasma. It's the mask of pregnancy. Well, obviously I wasn't pregnant, but the hormones within the birth control pills kind of trick your body into thinking that you're pregnant. And the doctor said the only way to prevent that, because of the hormones in my body and the intense sunlight at 5,000 plus feet, was to wear sunscreen every day. Well, all you had to do at that time was appeal to my vanity, and that was it. Had nothing to do with preventing skin cancer or anything like that, because we really weren't even talking about that back in the 80s. But it was strictly my vanity. So from that day on, and especially when I knew I was going to be out in the sun a lot, I wore sunscreen every day. And as I had said in a previous video, I wish I had maybe kind of brought it back down on my neck a little bit, but of course my poor neck is never going to look the same. I've had 2 cervical spinal surgeries. You might be able to see there's a couple scars here. My poor neck is never going to be the same, but that's what saved my face. I truly believe that. So let that be a lesson to you if you're in your 20s, 30s, but honestly, it's never too late. It is never too late. So there are 2 types of sunscreen. You have your chemical sunscreens, which sounds worse than it is. A lot of them do have the chemicals in them, but you can find many that have wonderful botanicals and great like vitamin C and that kind of stuff that are wonderful for your skin. And then there are the physical sunscreens. As you might remember back in your teenage years, those lifeguards with their zinc all over their face, and now even today they have these crazy colors of zinc, blue and green and orange, and those are fun. But I don't particularly want to wear orange zinc sunscreen on my face. I don't know about you. So I want to talk to you about a couple things. Number one is how to wear it. Number one, you're probably not wearing enough. You need to get at least a tablespoon in your hand and, you know, really put it all over your face. Make sure you're wearing enough, and especially if you're out in the sun, reapply, okay? For everyday wear, and I do mean every day, winter, spring, summer, fall, you want to probably use a chemical sunscreen because that plays nicely with your makeup. And you want to apply that after all of your other skincare. Now I'm going to be doing a video very soon about the layering of your skincare, and I'll include that training in there as well, because the physical sunscreen is a little different. Now let's think about that. The physical sunscreen, you're more likely going to want to wear that when you know you're going to be out in the sun a lot. Maybe you're going to the beach or the pool, or you're skiing, and maybe, you know, you're probably not going to be wearing a lot of makeup, or maybe just a little mascara and some lip gloss that has sunscreen. Absolutely wear lip gloss with sunscreen. There is such an animal, and we'll talk about that at a later date as well. But you can find many online that do carry that. I think Neutrogena has some. But as I was saying, you would probably want a physical sunscreen if you know you're going to be out in the sun all day long, okay? Now, the other thing you want to look for in any of your sunscreens is, number one, it has to be at least a 30 SPF. None of this 6, none of this 15. It needs to be a 30 SPF. Okay? And then it needs to be UVA, UVB, broad spectrum protection. That is what you want. And I also think there are also some sunscreens that may be coming out that have some blue light protection, which is kind of a new thing. And those are from, believe it or not, computer screens and your cell phone. I don't have any information on that right now, but I just happened to read about that a couple of days ago, so be on the lookout for those too. But for now, just remember 30 SPF, UVA, UVB, broad spectrum. And then on top of that, especially in the chemical sunscreens, they're adding all kinds of wonderful additions, botanicals and vitamins. So not only are they good for your skin in terms of protecting your skin from the sun, they're good for your skin. So how great is that? That is super exciting. So there could be days when you're just not feeling it, or you're in a hurry. All you would use is your sunscreen, and you can slap on your makeup and run out the door. So that's, I think that's a great way to be able to use your sunscreen. Now, I want to tell you about my two favorites for now. I have actually another favorite that I can't tell you about just yet, but at a later date I'll be able to tell you about that. But my favorite chemical sunscreen right now is Thibodeaux. And this is just a wonderful sunscreen. Again, it's got the vitamin C, and it's got all kinds of good stuff for your skin. It goes on beautifully. It wears beautifully with your makeup. So highly recommend this. You can find this in most of your drugstores as well as online. As far as your physical sunscreens, this is the bomb. Neutrogena Sheer Zinc. And this has got a 50. And so this is great for the beach. Great for the beach. It doesn't go on white once you rub it in. You really cannot tell that you have it on. So Neutrogena Sheer Zinc Face Dry Touch. this is a great, great product. And I'll put information below this video for both of those sunscreens for you, okay? Before I end this video, I cannot end it without talking about something I feel really strongly about. Please, do not use tanning beds. If you use them, stop. If you haven't used them, don't start. They are among the worst things you can do for your skin. Not only that, first of all, you're not even allowed to use them if you're under 18. And number two, they've been labeled a carcinogen. So what more do you need to know to not use a tanning bed? I get it, you know, they feel good. I used one once or twice back in the day. They felt very relaxing, and I can see how people would get addicted to them, but just please do not do that. If you must have a tan, there are so many great self-tanners out there, maybe we'll do a video on that later on. I have to be honest with you, I do not use self-tanners that often because I'm kind of a chicken. I'm afraid I'm going to end up a streaky mess. So I really haven't tried them. I've had a couple professional spray-on tans, and those are awesome, but I mean, how often can we do that? Let's be real. But those are great. So if you want to give that a try, by all means. I myself have kind of realized that I'm just gonna be white. And because here's the other deal. When I do go in the sun, and even though I'm wearing sunscreen, you know, we do get a little color. I'm getting anti-sunspots. I get white spots where I don't have any melanin anymore. So that's not a good look. I get lots of white spots on my arms instead of dark spots. So, oh, the joys of getting older, right? The things we have to deal with. But I just wanted to end on that note. Please do not use tanning beds. So I hope you learned a little something on this video. If you have any questions, or if you know of any sunscreens that you love, please put them down in the comments. And speaking of comments, if you like this video, please subscribe, hit the bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. Again, my next video is going to be all about layering your skincare products, because that's a tricky one. I was confused about that for a long time too. So again, please, if you like this video, tell your friends, subscribe, hit the bell, and please don't forget to claim your radiance. So come on back and see me next time here at Radiant by Kimberly.